Springs Wildlife State Park. My name is Ellen, and I'm one of the many volunteers that are here throughout the park to help you. You'll see lots of us today because it is a really special day. How many of you sang Happy Birthday to Lou? All right, well, there will be a second birthday party, not quite as large as the first one. For the 12:30 program, he will be getting his second birthday cake, because after all, when you're 50, you deserve 2 of them, don't you? Yeah. So, you are here for our manatee program, and unfortunately, I don't see any of the girls down here, but perhaps one never knows. That fencing that you see going in is a new endeavor in the park because it's been so cold. We actually have, just on the other side of that gate, is an in-ground pool, which is part of our manatees' habitat. They come and go inside that concrete pool. The gate, as you see, is open, and oftentimes, because it can be closed and isolated, our manatees are brought in there for the vet to see them. They get their baths within that concrete area, and they're often fed in there. So that's part of their habitat as well as this. But right next to it is an above-ground enclosure. And right now there are 4 wild manatees in there that have been rescued from the cold just a couple of weeks ago. So they're adjusting to their the new environment. We're getting them healthy again because the cold stress really can put them at great risk. And they will be released. This fencing, because there are so many wild manatees in the rivers right now, and because the cold has been so extreme that we're finding more and more and less areas for them to find the safety. So we're opening this area, that fence is there so that if it does occur that we need to allow more wild manatees into the habitat, they will have the room, but yet they won't interact with ours. Or keep them at least separated in case there is a little guy in there. Our girls are all female. So that's what that is there for. And manatees by nature are incredibly curious and very, very social, ours being no different than any others. There are workmen that are doing that right now, and they're so intrigued by them and all of their tools and paraphernalia. But that's probably where they all are, playing with those men down there. So eventually walk your way over. However, following my program, that wheelbarrow is filled with their lunch, and it will be put into the springs following this program. So eventually they will make their way down there because they do know there are carrots and food down here. So as social as they are, they will come to eat. So you will get a good view of them. But there are six manatees that live here on a permanent basis, and they are captive. They're here for one of 3 reasons. They've either been injured in the wild, orphaned in the wild, or born in captivity. And they need our constant care, and that's somebody's coming right now. You see that little footprint? So somebody got either heard or smelled those carrots and are coming to be the first to get them. So they do have full reign of this area, and they are here because they do need our protection. They're here primarily in manatees. They are a Florida manatee, which is unique to Florida. They have been here for millions and millions of years, and are a subspecies of the West Indian manatee, which are found in the Caribbean. But they are unique to Florida and have been here millions of years, and it's primarily because of the springs that are throughout the coast of Florida. Manatees are warm-blooded mammals, cannot survive in water that's colder than 68 degrees for any length of time. Just like us, they would be subject to hypothermia and pneumonia and cold stress diseases that will kill them. So these springs provide them with the warmth because they stay a constant 72 to 74 degrees all year round. So during these months, they know that they will be able to survive because the waters are warm enough. Our spring is right underneath this floating observatory. How many of you have never been to Homosassa before? So it's their first time. Oh, wonderful. There are windows at the base of that observatory. If you've not been down there, it's a wonderful opportunity to look into the springs, see the many fish that are swimming in there, as well as following the feeding it will be a great time to observe them and underwater. Here comes 2 of them now. 3. We got 3 visitors. Okay, you couldn't take long. So the springs goes down about 35 feet. As you can see the difference in the color, that's where it is. And it puts out almost in excess of 2 million gallons of fresh spring water every hour. And it is the formation and the source of the Homosassa River, which starts right here and flows about 8 miles out to the Gulf of Mexico. Now the many fish that you see swimming in here are actually saltwater fish, irregardless of the fact that this is pure spring water. The fish swim up here, up the 8 miles or so, and they hang out for 3 or 4 days and recycle themselves. You'll get a good view of them down below. The ones that you did see jumping out of the water are mullet. We have redfish here, lots of sheep's head, they're the striped ones, snook, some very large snook. And on any given day, there could be a variety. We get drum. There's a sign over by the picture-taking manatee, as well as a chart down below that will identify those fish if you're curious as to what they are. But our manatees, as they said, are mammals, so that means that they breathe air, and you'll see them come up in just a minute. All they need to do is lift their head a bit because their nostrils are right on the top of their face. They'll take a good breath. Their lungs cover much of the top of their bodies. With that breath, they'll exchange about 90% of their lung capacity, allowing them to stay underwater for about 20 minutes when they're resting, every 3 to 5 minutes when they're active, and very, very efficient. They can, and manatees can live in salt water and fresh water. Their kidneys are very efficient as well. When you get a good look at their faces, you'll see they have small eyes, but they see very well. And unlike most mammals, they actually see in color. I'm going to ask that, I just don't want any accidents. If you are on the bleachers, would you please stay seated? You'll get a good view of them. They're going to stay here because they're definitely hungry enough that they're going to want their lunch. So you'll get a good view of them. We don't want any accidents disturbing this beautiful day and your visit. So here you go. Those nostrils open, very strong valves that will close them and keep them under the water. So they see in color, and when they come up again, you won't see any ears because they actually have ear canals that are about 6 inches behind their eyes. No external ears, and as a result of that, they can't locate sound. They hear very well, but they can't find the directionality. So you can kind of, realize the implications for both. They hear it out there, but where's it coming from? Manatees are strictly vegetarian. They're the only marine mammal that are strictly vegetarian.